So you've just got your new Stoma. And if you're anything like me, you might be wondering, what the hell do I do now? It might feel like there's so much to learn. It might feel like there's so much you've not been told. And this is actually really common. It definitely happened to me, and it happens to a lot of people. So I'm going to tell you my top tips for new ostomates and how to make the transition a little bit smoother. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tommy from Stoma Adventures. I make content on stomas, IBDs, and just day-to-day life of living with a stoma. And if you haven't already, please like, follow, and comment. It really helps new creators like me. Okay, so you're fresh out of hospital. You've just got home. You might be wondering, what do I do now? The biggest tip that I always give new ostomates is finding the right bag for you. So when I was sent home from hospital, I was given some horrible see-through skin-colored bags, and I wasn't actually given much information on what bags I should use or where I should even get them from. So let's tackle that first. So to get new bags, you need to get them from your stoma nurse, which you should have been assigned before surgery. If you haven't been assigned a stoma nurse, that is the first thing to do. I live in the UK, so it might be different depending on the country, but your stoma nurse are the ones that will write the prescriptions, because you can't order your supplies without them, and they're a good source of information of which bags to use. Now, how do you decide which bag is right for you? There is a Coloplast tool, which I've had varied experience with. It didn't really work for me that well, but it's probably a good starting point. I'll put the link to that in the description. But from my experience with an ileostomy, the main bag types are convex or flat. Now, convex ones help push the skin away from the stoma. Say if you've got a little dip around it or you've got a difficult area, a convex one really helps. I use a soft convex. There's a hard convex as well. I won't go into a massive amount of detail about it because I could do a whole video on bag types separately, which I might actually do that. So the first thing you need to figure out about your bag is the base plate. Like I said, either convex, soft convex, hard convex, flat. And obviously it might not seem important, but the style of the bag is important. I use a black bag. A lot of people ask where I get it from. It's the Pelican Modavi or Modavi, whatever. But a lot of manufacturers do a lot of different colors. There are also things on how you empty the bag. Some systems are better than others, but it's a bit of a preference thing really. So what you need to do is you need to speak to your stoma nurse and ask for different samples. So you should be sent 3 to 5 different types of bags based on what you've asked for. And you want to try them out, maybe give them a week per type of bag. Whilst you're doing this, I'd recommend putting a waterproof bed sheet on your bed in case you have a leak. It could happen, you're trying different bags out, you're experimenting a bit. But the reason why I'm finding the right bag as number one is because this will eliminate a lot of issues further down the road. Once you find the bag that fits you right, that you trust, doesn't leak, is comfortable, doesn't affect your skin, then you're pretty much already there. That's pretty much, the video could end there pretty much. So yeah, step one is find the right bag. If I've missed anything, pop it in the comments. I'll be happy to reply and try and help. Again, I'm not the fountain of all knowledge. I've only had mine a couple of years and I'm just a random guy living in Wales, that's it. The next thing people are really worried about after coming out of surgery is what can you eat or drink after surgery? Now I need to tread a little bit lightly here because different people will be given different dietary restrictions straight after surgery. So what I would recommend is first, if you've been told by the surgeon or your IBD team or your stoma nurse to follow a certain diet for a certain amount of time, follow those instructions 100%. But once you are back to eating normal solid food, a lot of people are worried about what foods they can eat because they've been told about blockages, they've been told about just general health. And in reality, it's not so much what foods you eat. Obviously you should eat a healthy, balanced diet, the same as everyone else should. We don't always do that, but it's more important to chew the foods thoroughly than it is picking the right foods. So a lot of people will be worried about whether they need like a low fiber, high fiber, low protein, high protein. There are certain foods that are more likely to cause blockages, such as nuts, some uncooked veg, some undercooked veg. There's a few. You can Google these, it's readily available information, but it doesn't mean you can't eat them again. What I'd say is the high risk foods, if you want to eat them, introduce them slowly and a small amount into your diet. Always chew thoroughly and see how your body responds to them. 9 times out of 10, it will be fine. I'm not promoting you go eat high risk foods and cause a blockage, but my point is you're not as restricted as you might think you are. So chew the shit out of your food. Sticking to what you're putting in your mouth, hydration is super important. Again, you might be limited when you come out of hospital. If you've been told by any of your medical staff to not drink too much water, listen to that until you're ready and healed. Hydration is a massive thing, especially for people with ileostomies, because our output is a lot more watery, so we lose a lot more water and salts as well. So I would always recommend a minimum of 2 litres, but I'd say 2.5 to 3.5 a day. I don't always stick to that. I should. It's quite a lot to get through, but try and stick to minimum 2 litres. As well as that, you should be having electrolytes as well. Electrolytes are a bit of a fad at the moment, and a lot of people are saying, oh, you need electrolytes all the time for a normal person, but that's not actually true. But for people with ileostomies, we do actually need electrolytes. So I would say try and have a sachet a day, whether it's Diorolite or whatever they've got in the US, not sure. You can make your own as well. I've made a video of that on my TikTok if you want to go watch that. But make sure you're having plenty of water and your electrolytes. Okay, so we've covered getting your bag sorted, we've covered food and drink. The next one is actually the physical recovery. Now, some people have surgery that is done through keyhole. Some people, like me, have had the surgery where they've been cut right open. Both need time to recover. You've just gone through a major surgery. You've had most of your colon removed and you need time to recover. And by recover, it means you need to give yourself the right amount of rest. As well as the right food and hydration, you need to give yourself rest. The way to do that is number one with work. You need to make sure you've spoken to your boss or whoever and you've told them how serious the surgery is and the recovery time, whether you can work from home, whatever. If you rush back to work and you push yourself too hard, you can just delay your recovery and you can cause yourself some damage. The steps that I took, which worked pretty well for me, were working yourself back up to it slowly. I found that my body told me what I was able to do. So whether it's literally just walking around the house, you can be that weak where you need to build your strength up that way, just walking around the block and then building yourself up to doing longer walks. That's just helping building your stamina back up. Again, you need to be super careful with this. If you feel like you're out of breath or anything's hurting, you need to stop and recover. Again, that's just with your cardio and with your stamina. But when it comes to things like lifting stuff up, you might be a builder, you might be whatever. This is the riskiest side of things where you're lifting stuff, you're using your core and could cause a hernia. So this is something you need to be really careful with. What I'd suggest, whilst you've got your time off and you're recovering, if you're gonna be doing stuff like that, is start doing exercise to build your core up. Your core is the weakest point right now. So you need to do things like leg lifts, things like crunches, or, but you need to start off really slowly and build your strength up. And make sure you're wearing a support belt as well. If you're in the UK, you can get them for free. I think up to 3 belts a year, which is amazing. Brands that I personally recommend are CUI or Supportex. You can Google them, ask your stoma nurse and they'll be able to set you up with a fitting. Honourable mentions are Mr. Colitis Crohn's. He sells a belt for people that can't get one on the NHS for whatever reason. They are quite expensive and they're not the comfiest for all day wear, but they are quite heavy duty, so it's pretty good. But long story short is you need to give yourself enough time to recover. I'm not going to say how long because everyone's different. Some people need a month, some people need 6 months, some people need a year. It's a never-ending scale, but you need to listen to your body, not push yourself too fast, and you'll get there in your own time. The next one is quite important because if you've seen any other content creators on social media, even me, it might seem like it's a really complicated routine when it comes to changing your bag, all the accessories you can use, when in reality, it's actually a really simple thing to do. I do mine every day and it takes me 5 minutes. The accessories I'm talking about are things like pastes, rings, things like that that can help stop leaks. But in my mind, you should only need these if it's sort of a last resort, if that makes sense. If you've got a bag that works really well for you, it shouldn't be leaking anyway. Yes, there can be accidents. That can happen at any point. It's rare. It's not happened with me yet since I've moved to this new bag and that's over a year now, but they can happen. So, don't panic if it does. But if you're getting regular leaks and stuff like that, again, go back to finding the right bag. That's not that easy for everyone because some people have a difficult area. They might have a scar where the stoma is, or it might be too close to the belly button, which a lot of people in my chat or live stream or whatever have said is too close to the belly button. So the base plate of the bag doesn't doesn't seal. So that's why they have to use pastes and rings and stuff like that. But anyway, changing your bag is not a complicated thing. I use literally 3 products. I use wet wipes, which have to be 99% water. The adhesive remover spray, some people use wipes or spray, whatever. That just means that it's easier to take the bag off so that you're not ripping your skin every time. And now and again, I'll use a barrier spray. If my skin's feeling a bit sensitive, that just puts a little film between your skin and the base plate, and it helps reduce irritation and stuff like that. That is literally all I use. And I've got 2 stomas bearing in mind, so it doesn't have to be super complicated. Don't get caught up with the amount of different routines and a million different products that people use on social media. It can be as simple as you like. The last one I'll end on, because a lot of people have a lot of concerns about it, is literally emptying the bag. Actually, emptying the bag is a simple thing. I can do it stood up now, which is a high risk move. I'll admit. But when I'm at home, what I normally do is I'll kneel in front of the toilet and I'll empty it into the toilet, because it's just easier. If you're in a public toilet, obviously you don't want to be kneeling on the floor, so you can sit on the toilet backwards, empty it that way. But what I'm saying is it's not actually that difficult to empty the bag itself. So one common mistake that people make is not cleaning this up properly. So it gets a bit messy, so I'll show you. So you can see here, this is where you empty it. There, that's where you empty it. What I'd recommend is when you're wiping this, you wipe it normally around the outside, but also open it up a bit and use some tissue paper to clean just around the inside of it. Obviously it's more poop to clean up, but it means that you won't have the end of this spout really messy, which was a massive pain for me when I was first learning to empty my bag. Because every time I went to empty it, it'd just be covered in stool and stuff, and it'd be nasty to have to clean up. Now, every time I empty my bag, it's spotless and I don't get anything on my hands. You might have a little bit of squeamishness when it comes to poop and stuff like that, which is valid. It is poop, it's not nice, but you will get used to it. I know it's an easy cop-out, but you will actually get used to it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. There is one thing that can help, which they do drops, like smell drops, which reduce the odor when you're emptying it. It can help if you're staying at a friend's house and you're a bit self-conscious about the smell. You can put these drops in. I think the link is in my bio, so click on my bio, it should send you to the Amazon link. These drops do actually make a massive difference in reducing the smell. I just don't use them that much anymore because I'm a bit lazy. I've not ordered my other bottle actually, that's why. But that can help if you're a bit squeamish with poop and stuff, because at least you're not having to deal with as much smell, but you will get used to it. So I know there are a million different things you might be worried about. If I've missed anything, which I know I probably have, pop them in the comments and we can have a discussion about them. Anyone that's watched the video might be like, okay, let's look through the comments to see if they answered that question. Or if it's helped you, please let me know. And don't forget to follow and like for more day-to-day living with a stoma or an IBD. And I'll see you next time.